Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Firefighters Chalkboard. Man, have I got a surprise for y'all tonight. We have the dynamic duo, uh, the guys from Beyond the Stretch. We got Uncle Mike and not an uncle, cousin Vinny over there on the other side. So this is going to be a little different. We'll go ahead and apologize right now at the beginning if you kind of got any kind of video or audio glitches. We're going to roll with it. Uncle Mike's at the campground. I'm at the fire academy, and we don't know where Vinny's at because he's trying to get Buffalo Trace.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
So let's start it off, guys. Tell us the story of Beyond the Stretch. I mean, how it all come and everything, because you guys, it's really interesting with what you guys do.
Well, first I'm going to say my witness protection program, I'm not allowed to violate it. That's why I cannot tell you anything and have a blank screen on the back behind me. And our future sponsor, Mike, you know what I'm talking about, Buffalo Trace. Call us. We're ready.
You're such a you're such a label whore. I mean, my God,
So,
look at you.
well, I'm gonna pour our
We're
future
having like
sponsor.
it looks like Ricky Bobby's race car before it's all said and done.
Okay, and the reason I'm stalling is because I wasn't prepared for that question. I didn't think he'd go first, so tell us about the Beyond the Stretch story. What, Mike?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about you pour and I'll give my part of the story, then we can go in together.
Okay, I
Oh,
like it.
I forgot. You guys normally talk about the pour first, right?
So, but we just did.
What you
And there's only
cracking,
one.
bud?
Yeah.
There's only one pour that's to my heart, and that's the Buffalo Trace. So,
It's the only way to go. This is Buffalo
Well,
Tracy.
yeah. Sitting at the fire academy, I'm pouring a Diet Coke, and that's about the best I can do right now. So, come on, Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner tomorrow night.
ooh, nice. Okay. So, I guess I'll go with it. So, uh, the uncle to the one uncle here, Mikey. We actually met each other working the mean streets together, and then he always kind of just like I thought he was half joking, half serious. Like we should start podcasting, and I was like, yeah, and which we never committed to like ever buying the equipment. You know how it is. It's something new. It's a startup. It's just an extra project. Who's going to edit? Who's going to buy the subscription? Because you just start having to get those things, right? You can't just like duct tape a couple microphones on a broom handle and like, here we go. So, and then one day out of the blue, Mikey said, "Merry Christmas. I got the shit from Amazon and we're going to start podcasting." And is that pretty much how it went there, Mikey, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You froze up a little bit on me, but I got the gist of it. That's kind of how it went down. Um, but this whole thing's been a passion project for me for a few years, and I kept wanting to kind of push. I wanted to do it. I kept wanting to try it, wanted to try it, but I never wanted to do anything. I never wanted to commit to anything, so I wanted this to be a hobby. Um, and I love listening to Jocko's podcast. I loved it. I mean, I fell in love with it, and anybody that knows me knows that's all I talk about most of the time. Um,
Yeah, for
not an
real.
uncle, cousin Vinny likes to let me know all the time. But at the end of the day, it was something about the message and something about the way this kind of portrayed the things that I felt I had to offer. And I actually got linked up with the truck company Misfits out of the Midlands up here, and I became a fan. And I started messaging back and forth, and then we started talking a lot more. And I started asking more questions about being a podcast. And finally, Ryan Gase was like, "Just do it, man. Just pull the trigger and just do it." And that's what I did. And I went and spent a couple $100 on Amazon and made a phone call and said, "Hey, man, let's pop this thing off."
Good deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been going on for a little while. How long has it been going on now?
we actually started the first recording was done in February of 2022.
Okay.
So it's been a little while, but it's crazy because obviously 3 years or so, but we're only at like episode 48 just because of our schedules and stuff, which I give you a lot of props because you do a totally different version of us. Like we just basically get stuck in a room with like crappy IKEA furniture and like a little like walk-in closet, but
Dude,
we
first of
record.
all, my daughter is gonna have your name after this, buddy. We are in the Beat Laboratory,
Yeah, no,
and I'm not gonna toot our own horns, but our acoustics are the best in the business right
They
now.
are really good. I guess the stuffed animals kind of kill a lot of it or something.
there's
I mean, but they sound great.
yeah, there's a
The
lot we learned to
Squishamallows,
do on.
man, Squishamallows.
Yeah, but I like your what you do here is you have live guests, and just to try to coordinate that and get on schedules and all that stuff. Even though you book about 4 or 5 down the road, which is maybe that's what we need to start doing, Mike. But just it's totally different versions because you have a lot of live guests, and then you create your content, and then it just whenever Mike and I can find time. Although we did sneak in a couple pretty cool guests, and he did actually do a live from the fire conference one year, which I thought was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
That was twice. It was
Now,
2 years actually.
Oh,
I
sorry.
know, like when you talk about like content, when I first got started, I was trying to figure out how to do this, how I wanted to go about. So I started doing the whole little Q&A thing, and then it felt a lot more like it was an interview instead of trying to truly connect with whoever I was talking with. And then I finally, I give them like one or two talking points to give them something in their head, and then we went away from that, and it's just kind of like it is now. We all talk and have great conversations with each other about the job, about what we're doing, what our passions are. We don't need a script. So, I mean, for the last couple months, it's just been shoot from the hip. We're going to talk. It's going to be fun. And what comes out, comes out. I mean, and it's actually flowed a lot easier that way. I mean, because this is still a big learning process for me. I mean, I'm at episode 26, 27. Yeah, somewhere like that. And it's and I've been hitting it kind of hard, at least one a week. So I mean, it's a learning curve, and I picked up a lot of stuff by trying to listen to the way you guys have got your acoustics. And I talked to Uncle Mike. How do you get it so clear? And he was like, it was the stuffed animals or smushmallows. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to think. Do I want to put foam blocking on the walls in my office to try to do something to keep the echo away? And it's no different than how it is in the fire service. It's the same way doing podcasts. I mean, we help each other out because all of us enjoy it, and as long as we're spreading the message about the fire service, it's all that matters.
Yeah, and it's really funny you say that because we go off of no script either.
Yeah.
We have shared notes that we think of some cool content that we want to talk about, but it's really just like the title, and then that's pretty much it, and it goes in all these different tangents. And I will say maybe we've gotten a little bit better because we started drinking. So, um, but there's something it sounds like it's uncomfortable, and it sounds like, what do you mean you don't have like a script or like what you're going to talk about? Because like my wife would ask that question, like, what do you guys talk about? What are you preparing? And I'm like, really nothing's prepared. It's really just kind of feeding with each other, and that's really cool that we've developed like the relationship we have. I feel like we're like a yin and yang, and I think
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Hmm.
You can
I
compliment me,
definitely.
Mike.
You're a good guy.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, I love it, pal. No, honestly, what it really comes down to, man, it ends up being like it's kind of twofold. It's a tailboard, coffee table, kitchen table conversation, but
Yeah.
I think we take it a little step further. I think some of the conversations we have, it's when you go into your boss's or your colleague's office and you shut the door and be like, dude, I got to tell you some stuff. And I think that kind of is a little bit more of that. We're having these closed door talks out loud about,
Yeah.
man, the stuff that's going on, the things that are beating us down or the things that are keeping us going. Um, and again, it isn't scripted. We fly off the cuff sometimes. We have to reel each other back in, but it's if anything, it's authentic. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And rabbit holes are fun sometimes. I jump in them all the time. While I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at myself on the camera. Big shout out to Eric Jones. I appreciate my Fire First Training and Culture shirt. And on the way here, I actually swung in at the Lugoff Fire Department and finally cornered up Chief Spitzer and said, "When you getting on the show?" And he said, "Here's a hat." So I'm wearing the hat. It hushed me up for another couple weeks, and then I'll get him again. Uh,
Dude, it's
Oh,
so easy for him.
that was your hush money.
I,
Buffalo Trace, shut me up.
so let's talk about the difference of the dynamics. I mean, county, city, training. I mean, I know you're doing a lot of work with your companies right now, Uncle Mike. I mean, you guys you're doing a lot of company training and doing a really good job
Yeah,
with it and stuff.
yeah. Well, it's easy. I mean, it's kind of like I'm kind of the best there is. It's how it works out there. I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. Most of these guys can't handle our stuff. But no, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is like I just I never wanted to become that guy. So I always strive to be the guy, and I want to make sure that all my companies that we work with and we work around, they're going to be looked at to be when they show up. You're like, I'm glad they're here. And when I roll up, I want other people to look at me and be like, man, I'm glad Norik's here. Um, so yeah, so training, company dynamics, just coming together, and I mean, it's really no shock, but I do try to push the envelope. I try to make things as real and as down in brass tacks as it can be, because you can't simulate things. You can't draw on the dry erase board a squiggly line and say, hey man, we're on the third floor with a 2.5. Nah, man, until you're on the third floor with a 2.5 and you know what it feels like and you're sweating and you can barely move anymore, like that's when it really happens. So I search for opportunities. Just even with Vinny inviting me over to some acquired structures down in Myrtle Beach when we first started really getting hard after it. Um, it's just taking advantage of opportunities and exposing people to things that they might never get to. And like this week, I'm out here doing, I'm doing hands-on stuff as a student, not an instructor, just because I need to get mine in so I can take it back to the guys in the field.
I
Yeah,
like it.
I mean, you have a good point there. I think the hand line, the hand lines always make it to where they're supposed to on the whiteboard. Right? Until you get out there and really start doing it. And that was I hate to say collaboration, but that was the one thing that Mike and I, when we met each other, and this the being battalion chiefs from just two organizations that really we depend on each other more than I think people care to admit. And I think our obviously our relationships have definitely improved in our organization. Definitely shift wide and level and at all levels. But we're using each other's training facilities. We were because I felt invested. We talk about that in one of our episodes early on. It's just the fact that it's just crazy that I meet this guy. He's from he's from the city. I'm from a suburb, so judge me for that, right? Um, but he lives in the city that I work for, and the same thing
I
with
don't.
my kids.
Sorry.
What? Oh, no, he does. He does. um, it's a, no, it's all right. But yeah, just in the fact that my kids are home where he's first due at as a battalion chief, so we really wanted to iron sharpen iron and really kind of measure each other up, and then also be there to support one another.
I like it. I like it a lot. I know, like this past weekend, we had the brand new PD conference. It was the first time we done it. We actually had 5 speakers come up. They went to Marlboro County. We hung out at the Country Club in Bennettsville.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, real classy place. Um, you could hit a golf ball to Coit's house. I'll tell you how. So he didn't get a DUI. He might have walked
Oh, that's
funny
good.
going home, but it was
That's
okay.
fine.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, first
Those
of
are
all,
the best.
even with that, I want to say real quick with that, like, man, my hat's off to you guys because obviously with the saltwater pools, we know, and Vinny too, for bringing speakers in, the struggles, the trials and tribulations, and the expectations of packed houses and what the reality is, and to go out there and just still put on a show and really pour your heart into stuff. I mean, it takes a lot. And that lineup you guys had, I was kind of pissed. I couldn't make it out there for prior engagements, but man, like that, I would love to hear what you guys had to talk about.
yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
went really well. We ended up with 50 people there that bought tickets and
Nice.
showed up. I mean, so that was really good. Especially, we actually had some guys that they drove up from North Augusta and
Oh,
show
wow.
and come. We were really surprised, and they said that they really liked the thing, and they said when we get ready to do it again next year, let them know, and they bring a bigger crowd because they really enjoyed it. Um, I loved it. I mean, the thing I liked about it the most was got to meet a lot of people from that area I'd never met before. We had 11 recruits show up. I
Oh,
mean, 11 of our recruits drove all the way to Marlboro County to be there for the conference, and
Oh, that's
one of
great.
them had a one had a golden horseshoe up his butt because they were doing the 50-50 to raise money for the Firemen's Association, and so this one recruit gets his ticket pulled for the 50-50. He said, "No, we're raising money. We're raising money. Put it back." I don't want it. And then they turned around, and the next ticket they pulled was for the big item because they had a $1 buy a ticket for a chance of winning a brand new set of irons.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
they turned around and pulled it, and he won the ticket on pulling the set of irons.
Karma,
So
baby.
we told him, we said, stop at the gas station to get as many lotto tickets as you can. Uh, so, so we checked on him this morning, and he said his luck had run out because he lost $20 in scratchers.
Uh, yeah, there's always an end of the road,
But it
But
it was
but
really
Mikey, I mean,
good. Um,
oh, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off. I was going to
you
tell
know,
Mikey, like next year, you could take that the Nobo camper you got and just put it on the third hole
It's
next year
Coleman.
in Marlboro County.
It's a Coleman. You know that. It's parked next to the lab, the beat laboratory.
ah,
You know,
hey,
see
That's
what I'm saying, Wayne? He doesn't pay attention.
No, I
He
don't.
doesn't care. And I actually had something
nah.
nice to say about you a second ago. I forget that shit.
Yeah. I don't pay attention and he forgets. That's the whole thing. That's our whole relationship. So
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how this thing's going to turn out because the Wi-Fi is so weak here. It's went in and out like 4 times. So whenever we go to edit it later, I might call you guys back and say we need a do-over. But we're going to keep rolling with it and hope for the best. You
yeah,
know.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Uh, but no, I mean it was great. One thing I did is I recognized all the recruits. I had them stand up right whenever I went to go do my part of the thing. I had them all stand up, and everybody kind of looked at them. I said, you know what's significant to this? These guys listen to me talk Monday through Friday, 53 hours a week. All week long, they've been doing recruit training. And then on their Saturday, they decide to drive an hour and a half here to listen to us speak about what we're teaching in the fire service. I said, this is the future of the fire service, and this is what we need to invest in because if they're hungry enough to drive an hour and a half away to hear somebody speak after they've listened to it for over 50 hours all week, we need to capitalize on that and not let the well run dry.
Yeah, man. You got to throw gasoline on that spark, throw
Uh,
gasoline on the spark.
oh yeah,
So,
absolutely. So
Well,
maybe
I
we
think
can.
the big,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the big part about that, Wayne, is like it's a testament to who's teaching them and what they're doing because they're a blank slate. They don't know what to know. They don't know what not to know. They just know to show up and follow directions. And for anybody like that to be like, hey, you know what? I want more. I'm thirsty. And they go out and get after it themselves, and they make that hour drive. They come out of pocket for a ticket. We know whatever that is. And those are the people that we need to truly invest in. Like those are the ones we need to pull aside and give that little bit extra effort to, because they get it. Those aren't the ones you want to beat down and make them feel like, why would you ever do that? You're a pro, be shut your mouth, that kind of stuff. Like no, like if you're into it and you're into the job and you want it, like come get it, man. Like we've got people all across the country that even hell across the state, not even going that far, across the state that want to educate you, they want to teach you, and they want to make you the best version of you can be.
Absolutely,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah, I think South Carolina's definitely stepped up their game in terms of just really quality instructors out there, and I've seen it like at the fire conference, that is hosted in Myrtle Beach annually, and just some of the things I've upstate and stuff that they do up there. Like, there's some really solid people that really give a shit, and I think that's something like I think we're finally realizing we're going to have to capitalize on that.
And something else that's going on this week. Heath Meredith from Third Alarm Cowboys. He's going to be in Fountain Inn in the upstate in just a couple more days. So, like the
Nice.
Fountain Inn Fire Department has made it where Heath can come here from Texas, and he's doing a full all day long lecture, and it's open to whoever can go into the doors.
Oh,
It
that's
ain't like
cool.
he's trying to get a ticket or trying to sell spots or whatever else. I mean, I'm sure the department kind of helped him get up here and everything else and took care of him. But I mean, for them to come in and just open the doors and say, "Hey, we've got this guy that's all across social media. He's putting messages out. He's teaching in conferences. Here we go. We're opening the doors for whoever wants to come in and listen to him." That proves that it's getting better around here across the whole state. People are noticing that we need to go above what we've been doing in the past. And each one of you guys know just as good as I do. I can talk to somebody constantly, constantly, constantly. And then you can show up and say the exact same thing I say, and it's received so much better because it's something from a different set of eyes. It's a different dialect in how it's put. And sometimes the departments around everywhere they need that little jump start, that little boost to try to get everybody
Yeah.
back going and get the juices flowing.
Yeah, and as someone that's on that department, you can't take it personal that this guy has connected and made the message successful either. Like you can't just be all, you can't get crushed and get upset because I've been saying this stuff for years about high-rise packs, and then all of a sudden it took Bill Guston. Like, hey, I don't care who it took, you know. And obviously Bill Guston was a great guy and everything, and I'm like really blessed that we got to have him. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about the change we want to implement, and I'll bring in three priests and a bachelorette party from Nashville if it takes my firefighters. I guess that's their motivation to buy in. So like that's the thing too. I think a lot of people, on your point, they get upset because it took somebody else. Like, why are you bringing this guy in here? But sometimes that's what it takes. It's just that different perspective, or just that messenger, man. You can never underestimate the power of just the messenger itself.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. You know, one of the videos I show to recruits is Dr. Rick Rigsby, and I talk about him a lot because one of his commencement speech and his motivational speeches say so much about things. And one of the biggest things he says is ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. There's no truer
Yep.
of a
We talked about
statement
that
than
before.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Me and you had a really good conversation about it, and I mean, there's a lot of people that need to hear that sentence a lot of times. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of them. You know, 10 years ago, I was an ass. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was burned out, sour, whatever. Who says you have to stay that way? Be
mm,
open minded. I had a conversation with a guy a couple months ago, and one of the things he said, he was talking about. I was talking about the podcast, and he said social media is the worst thing that ever happened to the fire service, and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
nah. He said, yeah, absolutely. Social media is the worst. I said, no. The worst thing for to happen to the fire service? We got a bunch of people that are too closed-minded to open their ears and listen to somebody else for a second that might have something that makes sense that will resonate with them.
mm,
It doesn't matter whether it's right, wrong, or whatever, but take the time to listen. Quit being closed minded. Kind of like whenever I'm teaching people about instructing students. We're dealing with a lot different of a generation than what we have right now, than what we had in times past. So we've got to teach them different. They come from a different concept during COVID, everything else, different learning platforms. So we've got to adapt to that. It's a lot easier for me as an instructor to change my delivery method and to adapt to what helps them than for me to try to change 30 of them to do it just the way I do it. It's a lot
mm-hmm.
easier for me to change. And if I can't adjust how I change or how I deliver my message, maybe I don't need to be teaching.
Yep,
If I can only do it one way. I mean, if you
yep,
want to really be honest with it.
yep,
But closed mindedness is one of the biggest things that hurts the fire service. It ain't social media. Social media has opened the world up for us. How else could I talk with other instructors across the country to get ideas on how they do training or problems I'm facing they might have already dealt with and stuff? There's no, like you were talking about earlier, it's the ego about, well, I said the same thing for 20 different times and nobody done anything, but he said it once and they do it. Maybe his delivery is just a little bit different.
yep. And
And then,
timing,
and then, yeah, and then look at him and
timing.
say, what did you do differently than I did? Or what is so important on your delivery that makes it hit home? Being able to
Listen,
ask questions
one of
of
my
me as
bosses, yeah, one of my bosses, John McGarrahan, told me years ago, it's never a good idea when it's your own. So it takes a different set of mind, different set of lips to get your point across. But at the end of the day, it's the executing of the mission is what should be important, nothing else. So outside of that, man, cool. Uncle Wayne, you said it better than I did, but we're doing it. That's a victory. But if you're like you said, if you're so ego driven and you're so blind to the fact that you're not listening or caring of what your, let's call them, our audience wants, right? So what do our students want?
Mm-hmm.
What do our firemen and our members of the department want? But we're constantly feeding things down their throat that they refuse to show up to. It's not going to be a good thing. So maybe it's time to open up and look at what these other people are saying, vetting them, and bringing what is going to make the impact. I'm not saying bring in somebody without making sure that their message isn't correct, but I'm definitely
Sure.
saying a younger view, something that the kids are going to want to listen to, is hot and hip for the year. Like we gotta start thinking about that.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off that, that's a philosophy we've kind of, brought to our recruit school at our program, is that we bring the experts, like we bring the guys that are really technically skilled, but they also bring that like street level like relation to the recruits. Like, hey, they connect different to a master firefighter when they're teaching them auto extrication than a bunch of captains they've seen in the academy for a while, right? They
Mm-hmm.
also kind of like they feel like there's always that like side conversation at the connections, like, hey man, like I heard Station Two's cool, like what, tell me what it is, or whatever. So we've done that too. It's like we don't care necessarily if they have the rank, or we'll just be like, get them the IOW. They're our most magnetic person that we can possibly do for that topic. And then we've had a lot of buy-in with that, with the instructors coming in, be like, hey, I have a dude that's been driving for 22 years. Why is he not an EBT instructor? And that connection and just like his like real world experience, I think a lot of times helps with these, shorten the curve and get these, because everyone has the same time crunch like we all do. I'd love to keep a recruit school for a year because they still wouldn't know everything. But no, we're
Yeah.
putting guys out in 3 months and sometimes less than that if you do your pre-cert stuff. So just get the best people out there get the message you need, and let them at it.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. That 22-year engineer needs to be teaching them how to run a pump more than me. I mean, I'm pretty good on a pump. But why not get him in there? Because just like you say, they're going to listen to him for say a lot more than me. And getting those outside companies in on the training ground does so many different things. One, it gets buy-in on what we're doing with the recruits. That way you don't hear, well, the training staff didn't do this or whatever. You've heard that just as much as any of us have. It gets them buy-in to what we're doing. It helps get them facility hours, which are hard to come by a lot of times. If they're coming on the training ground, we can log their facility hours for them and play a game with it. Everybody coming to that training ground that's from an outside company is acting like it's the NFL draft, and they trying to size up everybody that's out there, so who they wanting to pick to come to their house.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and each company can bring its own little sense of expertise. Some crews love ladders, some love stretching hose lines, some love cutting cars. I mean, whenever I have them come, I'm like, especially when we got all of our cert classes done with, you pick the drill. What is your company the best at executing? Show them how you do it the way you do it, and roll with it. I mean,
Yeah, and I think to that point too, the crew, bringing the crews in, it validates your message. So
yeah,
I'm always about it.
Well, I got another one to go along with that. This is at least my mentality, my philosophy for a long time. Is you said social media and everything else. Listen, they are going to watch YouTube, they're going to watch Reels and TikToks, and they're going to want to emulate what they see. So,
hmm
with a shameless plug here, by bringing in those people, or even outside people, or the inside crews that can kind of give context and give them the understanding of the why before the
there
how.
you go.
You know what I mean, Wayne? And now they have context behind it, and maybe they're not going to end up in trouble. They're not going to break a piece of equipment. They're going to understand the concepts, and you're going to give them a shot to say, "Hey, that YouTube video worked great there. We just tried it. It failed 10 times. We're not going to do that anymore." Or, "Hey, that worked really good. Let me go ahead and get the chief involved. Maybe we can change something here." But you have to be open to be able to have those conversations.
Kind of like how many times has somebody found an easier way to have a bumper line pull, or
Oh
a
yeah.
different load that goes so much easier, but just the way we've always done it. I mean, but it's no different than on the training ground. Sometimes new ways can help, but just like you're talking about on YouTube, we might try it and it never works.
Yep.
But if it works, if you can weigh the pros and the cons,
Yeah.
what's shot?
You said the front jumper line. I had somebody send me a text the other day about a whole new different setup. I said, that looks awesome, man. I said, what's the dimensions of their trays on their front bumper versus ours? And if it works, let's talk about it. You know, those are the variables you don't know, but it looked cool on the video.
Yeah, and dude, that is you guys. That little front jump line analogy is like it's the chemistry of firefighters right there. It's like they tinker with the easy stuff, right? It's only 100 feet long, probably. You don't have to get on top of a rig to repack it, and somehow they'll spend hours upon hours trying to find the fastest way to deploy a front jump line, you know. And some departments, you know, they use them for interior attack. Some departments they never even touch them unless it's a dumpster or a vehicle. But you know, like that little like conversation starter because it's something that's pretty easy to train on, right? It's like when the ropes get broken out, and it's like, we'll just start with a Z rig, bro. Let's just throw a Z rig together. Then all of a sudden, there's Arizona vortexes out and freaking like everything else, and it's hilarious. But there's always that smaller like thing that like builds up to them. But it's like that is firefighters in their core right there. Let's have a real long debate about running the front jump line. And the other thing too is you can have 3 different shifts run a different variation because why? It took 2.5 minutes for them to change a hose load like that to what they want compared to investing the time to repack anything else on the truck. So I like it all. And honestly, Mikey, that sunset setting on you, man,
It's gorgeous.
you are a
Man, look at
beautiful
that.
person. I hope that Wayne, if this thing doesn't work out, you got to take
Look,
a shot of that, a
can you
Hang
see
on,
glass
hang
this?
on,
shot.
hang on, hang on. Let me
Look,
see what I can do right here.
this
Hang on.
this backlight is making this mustache really pop. Like it's kid tested, mom
I was about to
approved. Look
say
at this thing.
it's got a nice glow to it right now.
Yeah,
You need
it's
It
something
not
for
does.
gray.
our,
It's this glow.
It's
you need
glow. It's
something.
not gray. There we
That's
go.
what I
God,
bring. A level of sophistication.
God, this guy right here. This is why I'm so
We all
attracted to
can't
him.
be Sharpies and white shirts, man.
Oh, thank you.
But you know,
Con-
I love what you were saying a second ago about the front bumper line. I really do because you're absolutely right. It's something that's really easy to get out. It's something easy to put back. Yeah, another pour, Buffalo. See, pay
yes, sir.
attention. Um, but it makes it to where you just start that infection. If you start with something small, it builds, it builds, it builds, and it gets that culture of training at the house. No different than me. My big thing is a trash can. I love to take a trash can, pull it across the bay. We're going to draft out of it. And the whole thing of and you know, some people don't understand it. They say, well, why are you doing it out of a trash can? I mean, I've had people say, well, that's really great, guy. What are you going to do? Pull up with 75 trash cans when you pull up so you can do a fire? No. Understand the importance of the drill. It's a confidence thing. If I can get it where somebody can pull a draft with 30 gallons, what are they going to do when they get 5,000 sitting on the ground in drop tanks? They don't have to
Yep,
worry about anything. They could put the world out. It's just making confident pump operators.
yep. If you train in a puddle, then you can work in a lake. Like
Yeah.
it's all of that stuff, and it's crazy because when I was a captain, I used to intentionally like just move things around the fire truck just to kind of like get guys. I wanted feedback on like, are we doing really the best stuff? Are we
Mm-hmm.
are we really set up for the, you know, where actually there's a content postman or thing, you know, is our truck designed for the fire, built for the fire, or is it built for the parade? So how about we start moving things that's functionally better? And like one day I'll just move the cribbing all the way to a different compartment. Hey, is this serviceable? And then the next guys get in and it's a shift and they're like, what's up with the cribbing? You know? And either usually most times they move it back, but then there's some that they'll be like, well, this is kind of experimental and new. Let's roll with this. And it's almost like you'd have like that conversation like would naturally like develop between the shifts about, hey, did you like how that dead load was packed? Did you like where the cribbing was put? But if you just would be like, hey guys, do you want to move the cribbing? You get one dude that responds to it, right? So,
Yeah.
but you actually get that action done. All of a sudden, it just ruffled enough feathers that they're actually evaluating it while being pissed off that you're moving things. But sometimes that was our best way to get just some creativity and some involvement with some guys that normally wouldn't be the initiators on anything. So,
That's a
I'm
really
with
different way to
you.
look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, my biggest pet peeve, I'm glad you brought up about like moving stuff around, but like what always pisses me off and grinds my gears and always has and always will is when you go into a compartment and something is still in its original packaging.
oh,
A
dude,
tarp
we had some attic
still in its
ladders.
original packaging.
Yep.
You have attic ladder still in original
We
packing?
had
What kind of packing is it come in? A
so,
box?
oh my God, I could tell you some stories, bro. No, we had the
That's
new
why
Grab
we're
engines
here to
rack.
came.
tell stories.
Yeah, the new engines came in circa 2015, and dude, I'm telling you what, man, that rig probably was in service 18 months, and someone decided to pull the attic ladder out, and it was still in the like cellophane wrapping.
Oh,
So,
there's nothing cooler
bro,
to seeing that one person, not sure what rank it is, they zip up their turnout coat and the tag's still on it.
oh
Yes. Yes.
yep, yep,
Like, I'm going to follow that guy nowhere.
yep. Or his face piece gets pulled out of the bag, and like those little like
Still got the
silicone like
paper over the front of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
like the things so they don't like dry rot, like fall out of the bag too. It's like, oh God, brother. But I'm glad you're here, sir. So,
Pull up that 3 alarm fire, and the SUV opens up, and they're pulling the plastic off their bunker gear so they can put it on. Yeah.
yeah. But it's all good, man. And
That never happens.
I give it's cool to
Okay.
just be a part of this, no matter how small your impact is. It just have an impact, and that's what it really all matters at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, and it starts a culture like okay, so we're bouncing around on some of this. So two of the biggest problems we've ever had in the fire service, in my opinion, is openly training with each other without bitching and griping about it while you're at the firehouse. A lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, but it's hot, whatever. And the second is communications. Communications has always been a problem because A shift don't talk to C shift and B shift always did it. I mean, but one thing we done years ago, and I'll give Pete Grismowski, God rest his soul, when we were all at Station 40 years ago, he said, let's try something new. I said, okay, what we got? He said, wait till next shift. He went to Sam's and bought a 10-pound bag of pancake mix, right? And we just started having pass on pancakes every morning. So he said, no matter what, breakfast is at 7 a.m. So everybody come in at 7 a.m. We all sat at the table. We eat pancakes together, both
That's really
shifts
cool.
for breakfast every morning. And we would do pass on while we were talking, eating pancakes. And, when the off going shift, they left it when it was time to go home. We cleaned up. Next morning, we'd be up at 6 a.m., started cooking breakfast. The next crew, they would be in at 7 a.m. Pancakes are on the table. We'd eat breakfast together. Everybody breaks bread. We have time to do a good pass on. We go home. They wash the dishes. And we just started that thing. And it was something that, Pete started a long time ago, but it was awesome. It made communications so much better. And there weren't no more, fussing about this. The shift didn't do this, or this was wrong with the truck. And because everybody's running in and out of the firehouse when it's time for shift change, and you've always got that one guy that rolls in at 6 minutes till. I mean, but we started making a conscious effort for everybody to be there at 7 a.m. to eat breakfast.
Yeah,
Who
that's
doesn't
cool.
want to save a couple of bucks on breakfast anyway? And we just took the money out of the house dues and bought pancakes.
Yeah, super simple. It's easy, and sometimes it's like that. Just I want to say outside the box because it kind of really is to some people. Like they would never be able to like absorb this concept, right? Like, but it's cool. Like that's uniting people like that. Just on this like, there's some dude who just comes in here because he's a little bit hungover, and he's like, man, I think I got some flapjacks and
Pancakes.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and it's like you saved that guy. You probably saved that guy that morning, and just like little like things like that, I think really do matter. And it's those little things and those relationship that's really what matters, honestly. So that's cool.
Absolutely. And it's not hard.
No.
90% of the problems we've got in the fire service are not hard to fix. It just takes effort.
Well, I'm gonna go a different route. I'm with you 100%, but I had a conversation with the company fire officer not too long ago about this, and it's one of the biggest things that we need in the fire service more than ever. This might be controversial depending on your belief system. We need more grace, and I think more guys need Jesus in their life. They need to be able to walk the path. They need to understand that just because someone might be in a mood or someone might not like something, it's probably has nothing to do with you. Have a little bit of grace that they're having a bad day, that their spouse is giving them a little extra grief. They're picking up overtime shifts. They're not home enough. Whatever the case may be, have a tad bit of grace and stop sweating the small stuff, man. The trash will go out.
Yes.
People are we're gonna pack the hose. We will make sure the rig is washed. Stop sweating the small stuff.
Dude, you're so right. That's God, the company officer. I love that guy. You know what?
Oh yeah.
Forget what this says. Call me company officer. But it's like it's really real because just like thinking about that, it's really there. I've seen more inflammatory like fisticuffs get brought up about trash overflowing and the dishes not being emptied and all of this stuff, but then we don't address the real stuff like, hey man, it's 10 a.m. Where's the thermal imager? I don't know. But no one's going up to bat for that. Like, hey buddy, you left us out dry because it took us 3 hours to find a thermal imaging battery that you left like wherever, like, and some of the things that really matter, I feel like there's no, I don't know. There's not like, I hate to say word confrontation, but like there's not like an addressing of that, right? It's how many times I've had conversations as an officer where like, this is the fourth time that you've left the vehicle under 3/4 of the way full. Meanwhile, you're like, well, I'm sorry, those guys ran 3 calls after midnight, man. Like, like just the little things like that. So, hey, is the Life Pack 15 on there? Is the other stuff good, ready to go? Like, could you literally jump on the rig and take off and be okay? Other than the fact that you're a little uncomfortable because the policy was broken on the 3/4 fuel thing. Like, that's just, it seems like those little ticky-tacky, superficial stuff always started the craziest conversations and shift war stuff, honestly.
Yeah, the dishwasher didn't get empty. I heard that one all the
Oh
time.
my God.
Or they
Oh my God.
clean or dirty. That's what I would say. Clean or dirty.
Yeah.
Or they're clean. Well, shut up and put them up.
Yep.
I'm going to yell at them if they were too lazy to hit the button to wash it. But if they're clean, I'm good. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. But who's got the balls though to have that conversation, that gripe, but also have the conversation with the oncoming crew that just ran that bad call and be like, yo man, why didn't you guys make that push? Why didn't you guys do X? Or why did that happen? But instead what happens is they'll have the conversation with everybody else in the whole department and other departments and never talk to the individuals. And then so now we've got people who are ostracized. We got people who will never learn and get their feedback from the experience. We talked about that the other day, Vinny, is learning
Yep.
off of the feedback and being able to process that. They walk around, they look in the mirror every morning and be like, I am awesome. And
Well, that's
they
because,
never get checked.
yeah, that's because I have the ability to formulate an assumption. So
Yeah.
my story's better than their story, and damn it, I'm sticking to it. So, because sometimes the things that you like, just we ran a fire. Our department ran a fire just very recently, and I've probably gotten this TikTok thrown at me like 9 times in text messages, right? And it's like, look at these guys, look at our guys, look at our. It's like, but it's like, yo, man, like, has anyone even asked them like off this 8-second TikTok, like, it's a snapshot of a 3-hour incident. You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe we need to just talk to those guys and see like what they were thinking or what they were encountering, because it's always this like initial like reaction to these things that, to your point though, like go approach them and just be like, hey, can you tell me why or what you're seeing, because this is getting passed along, or I saw this and hey man, just want to know something.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020, man. Armchair quarterbacking is a real thing. I'm just trying to figure out why I feel this way. Tell me your story. Tell me your side.
Right. Right. Because you're allowed, like, I love that everything's visceral, okay? Like, everyone's going to have this natural reaction to stuff, especially the guys that are, maybe really invested and are hard charging. They're going to have these visceral, like, real reactions to things they feel aren't meeting the standard or aren't, pushing the organization forward. And there's obviously people that don't care. So, um, the good thing is the guys that passed on the video to me are the ones that I would count on. They're warriors, But it's like at the same point too, like, don't let your emotions get in the way from really finding out the facts here. And if there's a way to make our organization better, let's find a way to do it, So, but a lot of those times it's the who's bringing this material, who's starting the rumors, right? and that's something you can't not consider as well.
I was thinking about what you were talking about, Uncle Mike, earlier. Talking about the person that checks, the person that checks. I'm super fabulous. Um, so we're gonna go half and half. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say I agree with you and the company officer, and say that we do need to have more grace. We do need to be able to be more understanding everything else that's going on, and we do need a lot more Bill Burns in people's lives. Um, you know, there's a time. You're exactly right. There's a time to be understanding, be empathetic, and then there's a time that really sometimes we do need to have those real conversations. And feelings beware, because sometimes I need my feelings hurt to make me realize I've screwed up. I need to do better. I should expect more out of myself.
Hmm.
You know, and I'm honest enough to say that sometimes I need that gut check myself.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me
Can I
wrong.
com-
I'm
oh,
not
go.
a hold on. I'm not a softie by any means. I think history speaks for itself there.
This
However,
this podcast brought to you by Hims
Hims
Blue Chew.
anger management over here. Yeah, no, dude, I'm with you 100%, man. And sometimes someone needs to get the old what for, and they need to be checked. And
Yeah.
if we had a lot more, if we had a lot more people giving grace on the small stuff, and a lot more tough love on the others, we'd be a much better
Hmm.
place.
Oh,
Go ahead,
100%.
Vinny.
I
As you were
agree.
saying.
Oh no, I mean, how do I follow that? Okay, I will. So the my kids are literally watching Disney movies and Pixar stuff, and their messaging, their subliminal messaging to these kids they're having better, like, everyone wants to get on the young generations and stuff, but they're literally having better, I guess, they're getting taught or having ways to like address issues and conflict better. There's literally this movie
Hmm.
I'm watching today with my 8-year-olds. The if you don't face it, you can't fix it. Right? It's like about a relationship. If we don't face
Hmm.
our issues, we're never going to fix the damn issues. Right? And to your point on all that stuff is that you have this teeter tottering, pitter pattering, afraid to bring anything. But I'll tell all my best friends in the circle. um, it's so damaging. Like, just those, you think you're building all these allies, and it's really just damaging so much. You're just
Hmm.
making such a bigger problem. But honestly, like, to your point about just like with Bill Burns, we had John Burns,
Yeah.
so
And the
like,
two of them with fist fight in the front yard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, dude, like, but his real life short, spicy ass stuff that he'd say to people really got your attention, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Um, but and that's kind of stuff too. But it's at the end of the day, however we go there, depending on what it needs to be done, the tough love or like the grace, we gotta face the problems and then fix them from there, and don't just and stop, let go of shit. Like, just
Yeah.
let stuff go. Honestly.
Well,
You know,
speaking of
there's
tough conversations, hold on a second, Wayne, if I may, because Wayne is very patient with you. But you cut me off, young man, and you said that you were going to give a message, and you barely articulated. I heard Disney movie, your daughters, and then the Burns brothers. What the hell did you just say? I have no clue what you just talked about after you stuttered through that thing.
I mean, those
what was
that
the
they did.
saying from Happy Gil? Not was it? No, not Happy Gilmore. It was the other Adam Sandler movie at the very end. Talking about the puppy that lost his way.
Me.
Billy Madison. Billy
There
Madison.
you go.
Yeah.
Uncle,
I'm over here
Uncle
chasing the
Wayne.
penguin.
Stop. Uncle Wayne, meet my defensive Uncle Mike right here. So,
No, I mean, no, you're absolutely right. And and you were talking about the younger people, and yeah, they do teach that stuff. And I'm going to fall back on my roots of what I've got and what I do. It's always the kids, the kids, the kids. These
yeah.
kids, these kids. Guys, we were these kids at one time, and other people said the same stuff about us. But then somebody took the time to stick us under their wing, to be the Bill Burns, the John Burns, the Van Arnhems, whoever you want to call it, whoever they were, to be empathetic when you needed to be, give you grace, give you a gut check. They gave you every bit of it could be at one time, put it all together in a pot of soup, and just fed you daily for whatever dose you needed.
Right.
And we turned out okay. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about these younger kids. These kids want it more
Hmm.
than most people have in the last 10 years. They do. They want it bad. They want to be a part of the community. They want to be a part of the fire family. And the biggest thing they want grace, and they want somebody to recognize how hard they work. If you give them that little bit of recognition, hey, that attaboy. I mean, I know they come from the world of everybody getting a trophy, but everybody doesn't get a pat on the back. And if you give them that pat on the back, they will kill their damn self trying to help you achieve what they want to achieve. I
Yep.
mean, I've really noticed that. But the biggest thing of it is one, they don't open up. They're a lot more reserved in saying anything. And I don't know if that was a thing they dealt with at school or what it was, but they don't have a problem asking questions. They want to hear the why. They want you to explain the why, like you were talking about earlier, Mike. They want to hear that why. And I think a lot of times it's because they've got an idea in their mind and they want you to validate what they're thinking because they don't want to come out and say something wrong because they don't want somebody to think they're stupid.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I truly, truly feel that's what it is a lot of times. And, give them the why, tell them why. And then that way, if they do understand it, you'll see them perk right up because, hey, I got it right. I was thinking of it the right way. That's a win for them in their little, in their journey. And I think we need to, just like you're saying, we need to give grace. Absolutely. I love that. That needs to be screamed from the rooftops everywhere because there's a lot of stuff that's very petty that gets blown out of proportion on from one end of the spectrum to the other, where we could give a little bit of grace and everything be better. Oh, you didn't get the grass cut today. Today's Tuesday. You're supposed to cut the grass on Monday. Well, guys, it rained yesterday. You didn't check the weather. Who cares? We'll get it. We'll get the grass cut. But if we can give grace where grace needs to be, let's go back to giving attaboys. I mean, I'm not talking about for everything under the sun, but people thrive, truly thrive off of somebody recognizing that they done it well. They put forth the effort that we needed them to do. I mean, yes, you're doing your job, but sometimes, when you were in school, you like getting a little gold star too every now and then. Give them a gold star. What's it going to hurt?
Oh yeah.
It,
Now I'm
it lets them
a
know
little
it lets
self-proclaimed
them know
thing
you
here,
care.
but it's expensive to do that though, Wayne. That's the problem. And without like, and I'm not saying our department, but just department backing that kind of thing, there's no reason that different rank levels shouldn't have some sort of sticker or challenge coin to give out. Something that you can, when you see something man, that is noteworthy of getting a this. You earned your shamrock. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
earned something. But
This right here is free.
my God, man, but my God, everything else takes so much money to have to do. Like, I wish I can have a patch, a sticker, or anything else to hand out all the time. But when you don't have backing with it, it gets hard. It gets very difficult
It
to
does.
carry on. Um, I felt I've been pretty influential with our current truck culture in our department. I
Mhm.
worked a lot. I did a lot, especially in the busy battalion, the medical battalion. But I would give out a sticker that I got from Truck Tactics, and it was
Mhm.
a little Monopoly Man card. And anybody that went to the roof at any fire, even if it was a shitty job they did, I'd find them soon afterwards. I actually have a couple I still got to hand out, but I'd give them this little Monopoly Man card. It says, it basically says, went to the roof, uh, the engine can now make the push, or something like that. But it was fun. But that's a quick attaboy that you can do.
Oh yeah, I do it. I do it at a training academy. I had like 300 poker chips made because they cost nearly nothing. I mean, challenge coins are expensive, but I mean you can get poker chips made for like nothing. And I just had some green poker chips made or whatever, and they're few and far between coming out. But when all those recruits see me come out and stick my hand in my pocket and pull those poker chips out and give it to somebody, they all know that whoever that was went way above and beyond what the norm is to get stuff done that day, and they stood out to me. And it might be 3 weeks before somebody sees another poker chip come out again. But and one thing I was thinking about doing And I'll get your thoughts on it from both of you because both of you got a real strong training background. I thought about taking a Halligan, right? 2 nails on the post, let them raise the bar. We'll put it, hanging on the nails about, navel high or something like that or whatever.
That's
And
cool.
then collectively as the group, when the class or the students or whatever, when they hit this level of what we're expecting them to do, they get to go to the Halligan and they raise the bar.
Hmm.
That way, it gives them, a way to build team cohesiveness. They all work stronger together, push each other harder. Because the biggest thing of it is whenever we get that bar up when they finish recruit school, take a Sharpie and write on the post their class number, how high they raised the bar, and then next class starts, we start over again, and it's a way for them to push each other to come together and put out max effort.
Yeah,
I figured it was
that's
something kind of neat.
yeah, that's ingenious. That's really cool. I'm all about stuff like that, man. Like who doesn't love some ice cream? Like damn, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun things, and it creates that like teamwork and that like competitiveness while making it fun and something that's like achievable at the same time too. And it's all good stuff. To your point, I think that organizations definitely need to support stuff like that and some initiative, but take away the excuse of the organization not supporting it. What about those captains that never ask? What about the battalion chiefs that never ask? What about they all assume it's easy to say, hey, chief ain't gonna buy us this stuff, right? So where do we go? Is that like an easy scapegoat because we can't afford it, or that's kind of where I have some trouble with that because we will make sure like to the best that we can, we will buy candy for our kids if we can. So, um, did Mike leave? I just see floating glasses over there. Is he
No,
is
he's
he still
there.
there?
No,
Okay.
I'm
He's got
here.
the
It got dark.
Yeah.
I'm
the
bad.
No.
glow of the glow of the camper is behind him.
So,
Yeah. Sorry.
if I don't want to shift, if you guys don't want to shift, but it really kind of jarred really two kind of like really good thoughts with that stuff, especially with his
Well, hold
Disney
on
comment.
real quick then. I want to say
Go
to
your
Wayne,
do
yes,
your
I
thing.
agree with the bar. I think that's a great idea. It's corny and hokey, but nobody wants to be remembered as the company that got beat or was beat. So I love it. Go ahead, Vinny, as you were.
Hey, if it builds them to where they work together, they stay together, and they work hard. Whenever they leave, they still have a relationship with each other as classmates. Is a win.
Yeah, man, and just keep it a 30-inch bar, man. You don't have to go 36-inch. You
No,
don't
we
gotta get
got some
crazy.
old three pieces, man. They good for a
Oh
boat
yeah,
anchor. Why not put them up on the wall?
yeah, yeah.
That's the only
Uh,
thing they're good for. The only
I
thing
would.
they're good for.
The only thing with that, if I was, this is me, my visceral reaction, dude. Why not use the good shit? Like use the good shit. Like use the stuff they're gonna use in
We
the
were just
street.
talking about saving money.
Uh, that's the thing though. Like I
But
think
we never asked, Vinny. We forgot
that's
to
the thing.
ask.
Yes, get the pro bar. Maybe it goes missing off of basic 11. Hey man, we need a loss report, all right?
Yeah.
And it may just happen to show up at Bayboro. Like it is what it
Don't
is.
you have
But
emails to answer right now?
no, I have answered them all before I started. I'm very responsible. And I made this shirt, dude. Buffalo Trace, we need you. I know you're listening. But all right, so here's some things that came to my mind. That's crazy. I pretended to write them down. I didn't write them down at all. First thing, you guys have been around the block a little time. Wayne, are you from South Carolina originally?
I'm originally from Conway.
Okay, there you go. So, point taken. So, dude, when I was
You
like
hear
a
this
rookie,
accent?
yeah. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know. Maybe it was Southern North Carolina. I have no idea. Okay, Georgia, Valdosta. I don't know what you're into. But here's the thing. Like, so sweet tea in the firehouses. I was a brand new recruit and or rookie, and then probably up to 3 or 4 years. I never drank sweet tea. Like, it is what it is. But at 1 p.m. in every fire station, sweet tea was on the coffee pot, getting made, brewed, and then like poured in, and then put in the refrigerator. And it's weird because I think people like there's a natural, I don't know, slippage of like customs and like processes that guys have done and grown accustomed to, and then they want to blame somebody for maybe that not happening. And I think that's a really good thing for the new people to get blamed on. Like, oh, like, hey, well, I was at station whatever, and they didn't ever do the sweet tea and stuff. But it was such an ingrained like cultural fabric of especially where we started, that it's like, hey man, I came from the north. I never even had this stuff. Like I thought you only could order one type of tea and it was iced, you know, it's not Snapple. And like that was like the craziest thing. Dude, you never see that. I've never seen. There was one, actually. This is the reason it came to my mind. About a couple weeks ago, I walked into a firehouse and they had it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have this is like a you found a Tyrannosaurus Rex." Like I've never seen this in a while. But like think about stuff like and I started thinking about things that like I used to be what we did all the time for everything, and then it's not there anymore. And it's like silently goes away. Is it either because we don't need it anymore or whatever? But like that was such a big deal to a lot of people, and then it's gone. Okay, and I think the second thing on this that I want you guys to comment on, especially Mikey and Wayne. Wayne's gonna probably be better than Mike, but like, let's be real. But like, I think that organizations they feel like they're in this like struggle bubble where they need to recruit more and they need to do more things for the new people, or to like basically lower standards, whatever you want to call it, that they've lost a true identity to their own organization. Okay, like I think the fact that you've diluted yourself and watered the organization down so much has hurt you more than it's actually built you up. And I think people are actually still talking about like giving attaboys out. I think people are still actually attracted to very strong cultural organizations that have a known product. Okay, U.S. Navy SEALs, you know what you're getting into. The Marine Corps, why do they not have an issue getting new recruits? Because you know what you're doing, because you're the few and the proud. Okay, but I think like when you have those organizations that are just like, we're going to lose our identity in the process of just trying to onboard more people, I think you fail because your reputation is no longer recruiting for you. And that was just some things that just came up while you guys were talking. So go.
Well,
Like,
first of all, God bless America and God bless you, cousin Vinny Betnazzi. Because again, your first 3 minute ramble, I have no idea what you're saying, but I do agree with 30 seconds of that. You're spot on. The
did
T
I land
thing,
it?
no
Did I
clue,
land it?
brother. Snapple, you did not land that plane, but no, it's very good. I'm proud of you for articulating that better. Wayne, it's your turn.
I got sweet tea into not sweet tea and Snapple.
Yeah, well, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
But let's
but
put it
gosh darn it, you're passionate about it, and
we'll
that's
put
what
it in
matters.
put it in training. Bring it to the training academy, okay? How many times have you felt like the standard has slipped, or we've given more attempts, or we've made it easier, okay? Just for the easiest way to describe it, we've made it easier so people can pass or get through. But you are losing because we let that thing go through. We're losing and eroding our organization standards. We're losing our identity. We're letting people we wouldn't have put on. My sweet tea drinkers 20 years ago are no longer the ones getting hired because we're just we lost ourselves, man. And that's kind of
That's
a big thing in my mind sometimes.
I'm
I'm
proud of you,
going.
brother. You finally did it. Good job.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
we're on the same page.
yeah.
Well, you know how I roll,
Um,
bro.
that's that's a slippery slope. I mean, I I don't think we have. I think that the departments itself, I don't think they have. I think your instructors are still just as passionate as they've always been about instructing. They still want the best. But I would say that I think nationally the standards for certification have been lowered on a national level. Um, that, but and if you, it's hard for a department to say, well, we're going to be here.
Hmm.
I mean, they can say I'm going to be here, but the national curriculum is here.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's
Oh yeah.
really hard because when you get somebody that's here, they exceeded the national curriculum levels,
Right.
but we're still not here. So what do? That's not so much on a training as it is in mentorship and development to get them there. And I
No,
will
and
say that I'm just saying that one of the biggest things is development on the company level.
Yep.
I
That's
think a
a
lot of people. I think a lot of people have forgot what it's like to look. No probie coming out of any recruit school is going to be a pipe swinger, plain and simple. They know enough to be dangerous. They have learned the basic fundamentals on how to do this job. They learn just enough to get outside, to get with the companies that do it every day, to truly teach them the ins and outs of what the job truly is. Because, like you said earlier, I could keep them a year and still not teach them a quarter of what they need to know if I had them for 50 hours a week for a year straight, drilling them
right.
every day. A lot of times you've got to learn that case by case scenario running calls. I think a lot of times the burden of, okay, what don't you know? Where do we need to get you to be at so you're at the level our company wants to operate is sometimes too much for individuals.
Right.
I think that's one of our biggest problems. I don't think it's the levels on passing, because look, I don't care where it is anywhere across the country, those tests are written on a 10th grade level. And a lot of people coming into classes now are rocking college degrees. So that's not it. They can retain information. They've
Yep.
proven that with a degree. I think a lot of it has got to do with, one, the people need to understand it's okay because you don't know what you don't know. Say you don't know it. Quit bullshitting your way around something. Don't have a BS and BS. Go up and say, I don't know how to do this. I want to do it better. And 9 times out of 10, that's those companies will go in and do it. Because a lot of these guys are tired of putting in effort for people that's not going to put in effort for themselves.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'll go with that. Let me devil advocate with you, if you don't mind, because I do agree with
Absolutely.
everything so far. But now let's flip it a little bit and say, what if the guys and girls that aren't making the cut, so to speak, when they come out into the field, they're with their companies, they're at the station level, and these guys, they're terrible. Training didn't do anything with them. They didn't get any reps. I mean, you've heard them all. Both of you guys were in
Well,
training.
it's always
But
training's
hold on.
fault.
Well, it always is. But what if, let me finish there, Vinny. But what if it's actually the problem of the individual who is having a difficulty articulating or laying expectations at an achievable level for the member, not the employee, but the member to meet? Instead, you're coming in as a, you know, level 1 grade person, and the people who think they're level 10 want you to be a level 10, when in reality themselves they're a 5 or 6, and they're
So
setting these unexpectable and unachievable objectives,
There you
and
go.
basically the whole program sucks.
yeah, so you're talking about unrealistic frontline supervisor and or
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
Uh,
get that too.
yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, if I can, oh, sorry, if I can say something, UW, like the and I'm not talking about like the national standard for testing or whatever. I think
Yeah.
that's set and it is what it is, right? You're gonna HR is gonna underline that, bold print it all the time. I'm talking about the national standard doesn't set for how many lates a recruit can have. National standard
How many?
doesn't
How many?
say
What?
how many lates, how many times they give you late to work, right? Yeah, okay,
Tardies.
yep. And then like other things that could be an organizational policy
Yeah.
or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? That so like you can keep that excellence. You can keep a level of motivation, but there's the whole thing. It's like it's just a beep 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 beep, like where it's no.
Um, Chief, let's see what you think on this one. I think a lot of it is lack of documentation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of times it's lack of documentation. I'll be the first one that, yeah, 90% of the problems can be fixed in the backyard of the firehouse by having a real talk,
Right.
right? Because 100 times you could you could write me up for something and it's not going to do anything but piss me off, and I'm not going to do anything else the rest of the day when I was working in the street, because I take that personally. It goes on my record. But you could take me out in the backyard and tell me how disappointed you were in me, and I'd beat myself up 100 times worse because I knew I didn't meet the expectations you expected of me. But that being said, we got to remember that this is, no matter what, it's blue collar as blue collar can be. Fire department's always going to be a blue collar job. We're going to get dirty. We got to get sweaty, nasty, whatever. But in the same time, we've got to have documentation to where if that employee is late, yeah, I might chew you behind, but here's your piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
The reason and I hate pushing paperwork, but what I'd been dealt with a couple of times in the past was I get this person, okay, and they start this right here, and I start documenting it. Well, why did they come to me? Oh, because they're a crap employee. Well, where's the documentation where the problem was? Oh, no, they were just crappy. Where's your documentation? Because basically what you're doing is that problem employee, and we've all dealt with them, is getting a clean slate every 6, 8 months, a year whenever they transfer them somewhere else and they've had nothing wrote down or whatever to kind of go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to fix a problem that gets a clean slate all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just inconvenience the guy. That's the worst. The worst thing that happens to this cat is that he gets inconvenienced with either a shift transfer or he's got to drive an hour and a half away to get to a different firehouse. Dude, I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact that we put so much emphasis and rating of an individual on things of subjectivity, like how quickly they turned out, or how, well, actually, let me rephrase that, not that one, how quickly they checked off the truck, or how they looked. They were sweating more than the rest of the crew when they pulled one line. We will focus on that and say they're a bad employee, they're a bag of shit, but we won't address the soft toss of you're 10 minutes late. Here's your paperwork. This is the
Yeah.
third offense. You got to go. Like, sorry, this is the standard. We don't address those. We turn a blind eye to the uniform standard stuff that we know is black and white, but we will dwell on the fact that a guy, I don't know, dropped a 24 and his helmet went through the rungs, and now he's a horrible person. Like, no,
Yeah.
he's not. He made a mistake. You can fix the subjective mistakes, but you need to address the objective inconsistencies and the breaking of actual rules. That's how you clean it up. But when
Oh, yeah.
you constantly turn a blind eye and let those things slide, well, everybody always gets a clean slate when they move. And what do you do with problems? You move them.
Uh-huh.
Well, just like you were saying, Mike, okay, I break a sweat walking to the mailbox. Does that mean I'm crappy at doing my job? I mean, this is the
I don't
South.
know.
It is hot. I
Yeah.
mean, but here's the thing. He was throwing a ladder. The late guy's probably sitting on his butt in a recliner somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yep.
well, so, okay, here's the thing. The guy's out doing drills. He's trying to get better. I can work with that. I've
Yep.
got time. He's got a whole career to get better. And did he come to work on time? Cool. He's in a lot better stance than the other guy was.
Agreed.
Because not only that, but think about it, the lack of respect that person coming in late has for the guy that's supposed to be going off to go home, take care of his family, or take his kids to the doctor, or go to see a school play or something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
10 minutes of being late at the wrong assignment could be 3 hours of being off work late. You just don't know. So, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And I get it. And I do. And it's,
10 minutes.
like I said,
10
those are
minutes
those
later.
easy ones.
10 minutes later on. Sorry, 10 minutes later at Medic 36 can be lunchtime before you get broke loose to go home. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, standing room only over there. Are you okay?
I'm just trying to get into the light. Listen, man.
Actually,
I'd stay. I'd stay away from it because the
Yeah.
mosquitoes are going to come to the light.
I
That's
wasn't
all
about
right.
the mosquitoes. I would just don't go in there. So I want to make sure you're okay.
I'm
It's
good.
good to have
I'm
you.
good.
Look at, you're so dapper.
You should smell me right now. I haven't showered yet. This is terrible.
That's why he's not worried about mosquitoes.
Yeah, there's nowhere to be found.
Oh, well,
But
I'm
no,
glad
I
Got
mean,
some
you're
this is
raccoons looking, though.
yeah, trash pandas. Yeah, uh, but no, I mean you're absolutely right, and it's look, training is what training is, and until you get 5 students to one instructor and can keep it at that ratio so that instructor can truly work with those guys and get them the reps they need to help them be more proficient. That's an animal we didn't create. We're just trying to deal with. And it's there, and it's like that everywhere.
Yep,
And I
for
mean,
sure.
and until we can get it to where it's at those levels, it's we we do the best we can do, and we really rely on the company to come in and try to take it upon the basics. That's why they only get the basics. I mean, we don't. It's hard,
Oh yeah,
and I mean, and Vinny, you've been there. I mean, that's dragging knuckles all day long, every day, 30 weeks, hard as you can go. I mean, and it's still, if you got a class of 30 people, you do good to get everybody through a rep in a day.
yeah. And to that point, dude, like, I did not realize, like, it's always the change in perspective that makes you realize how challenging or how hard or whatever, because it was always training's fault. And
Mm-hmm.
then I went to training, and then you're like, dude, this is the real life. Like, this is crazy. Like, how am I going to get 30 some kids through hose pools or forcible entry or shit? Like, get 4 cars delivered and have 30 students try to cut it up. Like, and you wonder why these guys go out and they're still so green, and it's always like, yeah, God. But it's like it's that restriction, it's that issues that you have where you don't have buku amount of instructors, you don't have buku amount of resources, and you have a calendar, and that's what it's really about. And so, like, when I went into training, that was like the biggest perspective change for me, was that whole, like, damn, man, like, this is a very underappreciated, almost, um aspect of, like, of the pipeline, and the blood that flows through your organizations because of all that stuff. And I'm actually really happy I got that opportunity to go there, just because it really opened my eyes to that. So
I will say that it is one of the hardest but most rewarding positions I've worked at in 30 years in the fire service.
oh yeah.
Because the easiest day was yesterday. We'll go with that special warfare team thing for you there, Jocko Jr. The easy
Yeah,
day was yesterday. That's how the training division is.
that's
Yep.
right. Get some. Get
Yeah.
after it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, listen,
especially with
I've never
August
even,
coming.
yeah, and I haven't been in training officially. So I'm coming from a company level,
Hmm.
chief level look at it, and adjunct slash independent side. And like, just look at today, for example. It's super hot out. You can only do so much. And with a group of 12, we split 25 into a half. So we had an odd number, but our group had 12. And still, we got 2 to 3 reps per station per person.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
good.
mean, today was
It's just what
today
you
was
can do.
black. Today was blackout days. I mean, 15:45s all day long. If
Yeah.
you do follow,
So
if you
it's like,
follow the protocols, and then a lot of things that we have to worry about when we have those 15:45 days like today. Let something happen to one of them, and them fall out, and you're not following that 15:45, and then see what happens to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
primarily I'm worried about them, but in the same aspect, I got to put bread on the table at the house. I need to kind of keep my job too.
Yeah. There's maybe I shouldn't say it, but, like, sometimes it just happens, and what are you gonna do? Because we had that, like, with our August and stuff, training and stuff, and, like, you try to be very cognizant of it. And, like, I'm talking about, like, not like structured training. You got crews that are like diehard that go down and they train, and when it's you put an oven at can you please preheat that to 425, sir? So you go in there, and yeah, the same thing too, because those companies that are out there and aren't regulated because they're in stations, we have
Hmm.
that happen sometimes too on the reg, because they're out there doing it because they got a new guy that they feel like they have to train or whatever. So you're right, but God damn it, what doesn't kill you makes you makes you stronger.
Or unconscious, one of the two. I mean,
Hell yeah, yeah. And
I,
Buffalo Trace, if you want some unconsciousness, call
well, I
us.
mean, like
Call
we,
us.
we done fire one burns last week, and I said, just for giggles, I got on the scale before I left the house, and got on the scale when I come back home, just curious to see how much I lost. 8 pounds,
Yep. Yep.
and the thing of it was, I probably had 8 or 9 of those, my big Yeti bottles, those 32-ounce Yeti bottles full of water and mix them with Gatorade, and still lost 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
mess
these guys
around
are,
at
I
all.
mean, we're doing it day in and day out every day.
Yeah. That's actually kind of crazy. So when I was in college, we had the way. So we still did 2-a-days, and then that Corey Stringer, he died in the Minnesota Vikings training camp. and so the NCAA implemented like the new NFL schedule of like 1 3-hour practice. You couldn't do 2-a-days anymore. But before that, we'd have to weigh ourselves out at the end of the first practice, and then we had to weigh ourselves in front of the training staff for the second practice. And if you didn't gain, I think it was like 3 pounds from your weigh out, they would withhold you from practice because of like
Yeah.
the hydration,
Hydration.
the
Yeah.
hydration concerns they had. And it's crazy because like we do that day in day out, our instructors and stuff, and we'll always worry about the students, but some of the live burn things we don't put enough instructors out there, and so our instructor cadre is just getting their ass worked, and they're the ones that you ever like you take your gloves off and you can't even straighten your hands because you're so dehydrated, like but oh I didn't even think.
Pour your boots out.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't even think about scheduling extra instructors, but here we have all of these damn good burnouts over there.
Well,
But you
Yee.
have
yee.
but you have all these precautions. You have all these precautions in place for these students. So
But no, you're not wrong. I mean, because we do a good job of checking on the students, making sure like doing the 15:45 breaks that the academy says we need to do. But the thing of we don't get those 15:45 breaks. I mean, and but in the same aspect, we're in the element, but we're not working as hard as they are.
right.
But in the same aspect, the good thing about it is if we're not wearing what they're wearing, we've got no business being beside them either.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
how can I gauge how hot they are if I'm not wearing the same stuff?
Yeah,
Yep. So it's all good.
hands down. That's honestly
This
that's
has been
true.
fun. Yeah. This has been fun.
Thanks,
I
thanks,
really
Vinny. I'm
hope
glad you think so.
this works out. There's been some little connectivity issues and stuff, but that's only from the Wi-Fi, but not from the three of us. Like we are freaking
No,
bam. I
Like
liked it.
that,
I
son.
liked
Like
it a
that.
lot.
guys, the chalkboard is yours. Write your message on it.
Ooh, I didn't. Yeah, well, I hope it records and we actually get this out. And if not, I hope when I watch this shit, it don't like bleed in all of my other clothes. But no, I mean, it's tough. I was actually thinking about this. Like, it's weird when you have like the one time you can put a message out to some people. I just think that just keep going and almost like a recap of what today is and minus Disney. I'd say just like have some grace, believe in yourself, and just keep fighting the hard fight. I think that's really important, and help stand up and hold the standards.
All right.
Uncle
I'm not
Mike.
going to mirror. I'm not going to mirror that, but I got something close. You cheater. Did you read my notes?
Yes, they're shared. You did not
No.
realize that on the phone?
Yeah, it's something I realized, and I shared this recently. But the honest God truth, no matter how hard you try or what you do, you will always end up being the villain in somebody's story. So if you're going to go
Yes.
hard and uphold the highest standard and support whatever mission you have and get after it. And whatever that is in life. If your mission is the fire service, is your mission is your family, your mission is whatever you do,
And
man,
we
go. That work?
Go. He is a great family man, I must say. Like just being around him and the things I've seen and just like the interactions I've had and experience and stuff. And he knocks on Disney, but this is the only person that's been married at Disney here. So
true, true,
yeah.
Yeah.
true.
So,
So um but
so
you are a really good family man, dude. And that's one of those things I really admire about you. You care about your home life, but you are a really good family man in the fire station, and I think that's really awesome.
thank you. I don't take back what
But
I said about you earlier, but thank you.
Don't ever, don't, don't.
I love it. I love yours, Vinny. Recapping on what Mike said and Captain Dozer and stuff about giving grace. Don't sweat the small stuff. Give somebody give somebody a pass when a pass is due. Is it really going to kill us? It makes life a whole lot better. And I love about what you just said, Mike. About no matter what, no matter how hard you try, what you try to do, you're still going to be a villain to somebody. So just go hard and do your thing. I really
Yep,
love that. I absolutely do.
yep.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to put I'm gonna put that I'm gonna put that one on a T-shirt. No matter what, I'm still a villain to someone. It's okay. It'll be all right. It'll be fine.
They'll be
As long
fine.
as I make it better, as long as those recruits learn so they can go take care of Mr. Smith, I don't care. I'm gonna make Brindisini proud. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Hey,
So everybody,
oh,
yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out, but Wayne, definitely share this in some type of audio file. We'll definitely make this one of our podcast episodes, regardless of how like maybe the video quality turns out. So definitely
okay,
send it to
yeah,
us. We can at least get that out.
okay, yeah. Let me see what I can do with it. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the chalkboard tonight with our special guest, Uncle Mike, and not the Uncle Cousin Vinny.
I'm
You
not.
know,
Yeah.
he's still reaching out for support from Buffalo Trace. If anybody knows, Bardstown, Kentucky, give somebody a call, hook a man up.
That's right.
Uh, Once again, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. This show's for you. If you've got any kind of people you want to hear, shoot us a message. We'll try to chase them down. If not, I'll send Vinny after them.
That's right.
But once again, thanks again so much. And until next time, stay safe, keep learning, and we'll see you next time at the chalkboard.